Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins, your host of the Marvel DC Universe Fan Club, and we are live at Kansas City Comic Con once again. And I have a very, 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 very interesting guest today. So, can you please introduce yourself and let everybody know where you're from?
Well, first of all, I'm not from that universe, I don't think. But my name is David Babcock, and I am a Will Ferrell impersonator, and I am Ron Burgundy, anchorman here at Comic-Con today.
Cool. Now, for those who are like, oh, he's not Marvel DC or whatever, I'm like, you know what? Just want to let you guys know it doesn't matter. Cosplay is cosplay. Cosplay is comic book related, so therefore, anybody with interesting costumes, I will definitely interview. He has a very interesting costume, and that's why I want to interview him. So I'm just setting the record straight on that. All right. Now, sorry, back to you, sir. Just want so quick questions. Is this your first time here at Kansas City Comic Con?
Yes, this is the first time I've been to Kansas City Comic Con at all. The first actual Comic Con I went to was another one that was here in Kansas City in the same building earlier this year, and I just thought I would try it out and see it, and I thought, well, that's very interesting. There's a lot of people that are like me that like to wear a costume and pretend, shall we say, or become someone else. And I happen to look a lot like a guy named Will Ferrell, and so I've been told that many, many times. And so I decided a while back to just begin to, actually my stepdaughter was playing at the Uptown Theater, the whole story is, and she said, you have to come, the radio station is giving away a trip to New York City. You have to come, you have to be this guy, you have to be Will Ferrell character. I said no. And she said, please, and my wife said, please, and so finally I did. I went to the thrift store and I bought a jacket and I spray painted it red, and as you can imagine, people were surprised a little bit by that. This was about 5 years ago, and I made a microphone, so Ron Burgundy microphone, out of a paint roller that was already black, essentially, and I stripped most of the fur off of it, so it was just foam at the top and a paint roller at the bottom. And I wrapped it in black tape, and that was my microphone. So with the microphone in hand, I pretended to interview everyone at the place. And what that ended up doing was making everyone clap when I went on stage. And by clapping, that gave me the first place that gave me the trip to New York City. And so that was exciting. We thought, wow, that's cool. So then after that, we went to, actually, I think it was the next following year, we went to another one. And, of course, we took home an envelope full of money. And then we went to another one, another costume contest, and we brought home another envelope full of money, and then that's how they do that. And then at a place called Llewellyn's out south Kansas City, I went there one year for a costume contest and did the same thing basically, and I was carrying out a big giant TV that I had won, and the owner said, hey, would you consider hosting New Year's Eve for us in character? And I said, absolutely. I said, let's do that. And so they offered me a compensation package to do that, including a free bar tab, whatever I wanted that night. And so we killed it. We just kicked it up a notch. After that, I built a web page. I bought domain names and stay classy, ronburgundy.com, and got some social media, Will Ferrell Impersonator on Facebook and that kind of stuff. Instagram is at ronburgundy3, the number 3. And so we did all kinds of things like that, and I started filling that stuff out. The more I filled out, of course, the more traction it got, and now I do this sort of semi-professionally. I guess it's professionally if they're paying you, right? Yeah. So I have been to probably 10, 12 states this year, from Hawaii to San Diego to L.A., Vegas, New York 3 times, and a bunch of little markets like Louisville and Des Moines and Omaha, that kind of thing. And so I'm just lucky enough where about every 2 or 3 weekends or 4, I get to just take a free trip, go somewhere, have some fun. Sometimes I bring home a little cash. Mostly spend it all where I go. You know what I mean? So it's a way to get around the world and see have a little bit of fun. But that's the story right there.
You know what? You just pretty much answered the question as to what made you want to portray this role, but now I pretty much got an answer for that before I even asked you the question. But
sorry.
No. Actually, dude, it is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you did good, man. I mean, because Everybody's like, hey,
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, okay, now we know why, because
Well, I do another one. It's called Buddy the Elf, right? Some people have seen the movie Elf, and some people have seen the movie Talladega Nights. So those are the three characters I do. I do Buddy the Elf, I do Ricky Bobby, and I do Ron Burgundy. And it's middle of November right now, so we're going into December, which is just packed full of events for one of the radio stations around here, and some other like Zona Rosa and the North Kansas City Mayor's Christmas tree and that kind of thing. So we're going to have some events where we go and we do Buddy the Elf, and that's great around there. And hopefully we get to do some little bit of charity stuff too, like we've done in the past for that. And then after that, we go into the America on Tap beer festivals, which will start taking us around the country again. And we'll do some of those is Ron Burgundy, because we didn't go to those last year, but then they booked the same events as the ones that I did last year as Ron Burgundy. I do this year as Ricky Bobby, and maybe next year I do them as Buddy the Elf. But I'm not sure about a man in tights at a beer festival, right? So I may not do that next year, but at least I can fill out the rest of them doing Ricky Bobby again.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Thank you. Again, my name is David. You can search Will Ferrell Impersonator on any platform pretty much, and you'll find me. But it's Will Ferrell Impersonator on Facebook. It's Ron Burgundy 3 on Instagram. It's Buddy the Elf Impersonator on Instagram, and it is Ricky Bobby Impersonator on Instagram. And that's where you can find me. Or just go to Stay Classy, ronburgundy.com, and you can see all the links there.
All right. Well, that concludes this interview. Feel free to visit us, like us on Facebook. We are available on iTunes, Google Play Music app, and now YouTube.